Hi everybody, so in this video we're going to be learning how to make a centerpiece in Oasis. Now this is a good way to make centerpieces for a wedding. Oasis it's a foam. Now it's not your typical styrofoam. This is actually a wet foam. So you get it, it's dry, then you submerge it in water, let it soak up water, and it's used for making fresh flower arrangements. It holds the water that the flowers will eventually drink once they're in it. So container-wise that you would want to use this with, you wouldn't use it necessarily like a vase in previous videos that we've done where we have water, the container holding water, but something like this, a little pedestal type container, a basket, or a solid container that you can get away with it. That way you don't see the Oasis. So what we want to do is kind of look here, cut it. You can use just a butter knife. I use a little Sawzall blade because that just works for me. But you just saw it down here. And then trim off just a little bit on the corners. Perfect. Same thing over here. And then press that in, just like that. Then we're going to take some of our Oasis tape, which you will receive, and we're going to tape this in. Just like that. Once you get your little cross section there done, I like to go around the arrangement one time just for added security. It really helps hold the rest of that tape in. All right, so that's what you have. You'll then want to put some water in here. We'll check the water at the end of the arrangement as well. Okay, so once we get our Oasis in our container and taped and secured, you want to put a little bit of water in it, and then you can start making your arrangement. Now you can do this a day before the wedding, which is really handy. That way you can get them done and over with. So one day before. When you start, I like to start with some greenery first. We have a little bit of Floral here. This is a great greenery because it fills in really quickly. And just start snipping some small pieces, kind of like this. And then go at an angle up, like this right here. This is going to make sure that your greenery down sweeps, which hides your mechanics, which is your tape. We don't want to see that tape. So, come right in, once again, kind of down swept there. Now, we've got a good base of this. Then we're going to come in. We had some extra greenery left over from when we were doing our bouquets earlier, so you never want to throw anything away till you're completely done with your flowers, because this is still good. We can still use this. It might not have worked in the bouquet, but it'll actually work great in our centerpieces. So we just want to give it a fresh cut and then just insert it, just like that. Same thing with this. Go. And then I'm going to fill in just a little bit more with a couple more pieces of Floral. A little higher up. And then turn your arrangement so that you see from all angles, because you will have people seeing it from all angles, so we want to make sure we have everything covered nicely. Isn't that pretty? So next we want to add in some of our eucalyptus. This is fun because this gives it a very drapey look. And it's also a different color, so it adds that lighter green, which is so popular right now. You can even come up into the more top of the arrangement. That's still going to look really pretty just like that. Now if you'll notice, some of this eucalyptus still has some seeds on it. That's great because it just adds another texture to your arrangement. And that is important. All right, now we have our arrangement all greened. We're going to start adding in the flowers. So the first flower I want to use is our roses. Now, so what we want to do, we want to look to figure out how our length of our roses are going to be. Kind of bring this to the edge of the table, and we're going to hold it like this. We want about an inch to inch and a half of the stem in the flowers, and that's it. That'll be in there plain and deep enough. So we want this rose to be about right here. So we bring it here and find the edge of our container and then cut it. Gives us the perfect length. There we go. Same thing. So this one will go a little shorter. And of course we keep turning as we go around. And we have one more rose. Now we have a pretty good placement there. So the next flower we want to use is our stock. Now stock is a wonderful flower. It comes in a lot of different colors. And it also smells really, really good. It's such a great combination with roses. So similar thing. These we want a little bit higher than our roses. They're more linear flowers, so it gives us some height to our arrangement. So I'm going to come down here. Once again, just kind of match up to how long we want our stems, giving us about an inch into the phone. I'm going to start right there. Get a couple up high. Turn it a little bit. Next we have our beautiful scabiosa here. So just pull the little container, plastic container down, and then find where we want to snip it. Right in there. These are such pretty little flowers. Now we're going to come in with some of our spray roses. Spray roses are great because they really hold up, especially in the heat of summer, which is wonderful. So we're going to cut these a little shorter because we're going to kind of nestle these down in the arrangement just a little bit. which will create some depth for our arrangement. Now this one, we have quite a bit on here, so we can actually get more than one cut out of this. So there's a cut, and there's a cut. So I was able to get 3 separate cuts out of this. We're going to put that filler over here. All right, so let's do a circle of our arrangement. Looking good and full. Now we're going to come in and add in some of our filler flower, which is a wax flower. And this is exactly what it is. It just fills. Fill up where we think we need a little bit of texture, a little bit of extra color, a little depth. This can come out a little bit longer around the arrangement, which is nice. And this is, again, another flower that holds up to heat really well. Do a circle, make sure we don't have any other spots we don't need some filler, and we do, so we're going to add those. All right, so it's always fun to add a little something extra to an arrangement. This Renia is really pretty, gives us kind of that bluish, silver blue kind of hue that's really popular right now. So this, we just find a little spot that we think it would look really nice and showcase it. We have 3 stems here, which is perfect. And let's cut that one just a little bit more. And looky there, I was able to get a little bit more out of this one stem, which is nice. All right, so now we're almost finished with our arrangement, but what we want to do, since this is a more pedestal type arrangement, we want to bring it up to eye level because that's where it's going to be when it's sitting on your table. And we just kind of turn it in our hands to make sure we don't see any of our mechanics. Everything looks good. So now that it's finished, we want to check our water level. So just use your finger, find the edge and stick it down in there and see if it's got enough water in it. And if it does, you're good. If it doesn't, go ahead and add some. Then we want to place this in a room that's kind of dark, doesn't have a lot of heat in it. We want to keep them as cool as we can keep them, around room temperature. No heat. If you have heat on or anything, keep them in a room where you can turn that heat off so they just stay cool. And then you can do these the day before the wedding and you're all ready for the next time. So happy designing.